Black women, this is very serious, right? I don't know how many of you guys know who Lady Boulay is on YouTube, but this old woman has like 24,002 subscribers, right? This is a black woman who, when I tell you, idolatizes black males. Black male worship and black male identification doesn't even begin to cover how brainwashed and indoctrinated this old black woman is with male. She's unbelievable. With male worship, black love bullshit, and total fucking disregard for the fact that black males are out here killing black women every fucking day. Killing little black girls just because they're little black girls. Fucking them, raping them, and sexually assaulting them. Sex trafficking them. Prostituting them out from foster care to uncared for kids on the block. And this old bitch got the nerve to be sitting up here talking about while we're having gender wars, this is playing out. Do understand me clearly, right? You cannot try to fucking scapegoat the fucked up character and uselessness of black males on white supremacy and white male agenda based off of trying to stay in power and to exploit black people when they are not on point, not on game, and not paying attention to the things white people are doing to undermine us and make us a permanent underclass. We should understand that about white America by now. It doesn't matter how much money you make, how affluent you become, who you marry, or who you have children with. They do not like you. They hate you because of the legacy of slavery in this country. That's the reason why they're so fucking aggressive with, whites are so aggressive with black people no matter what, and spread, promote, and always give life to black, anti-blackness. I want you to just listen to the dumb shit she's talking about on her channel in regards to this so-called gender war. When you got black women being killed by black femicide and getting beat the fuck up every day in their life by domestic violence, which leads ultimately to black femicide, little black girls who 99% of the time when they live in a home with a black male in it are getting fucked before they're even 18 years old, and they start as young as 1 month old of being sexually abused. Okay, there was even a case that made the news where the little baby girl wasn't even 3 days old, and this motherfucker was sticking his dick in a baby's mouth. The fact that there's so many black women on YouTube trying to front and pretend like these motherfuckers are not animals, complete fucking degenerates, capricious in nature, 100%, always only thinking about fucking someone or something, because they fuck animals too. Listen, I am so tired of this fucking old lady and every stupid black woman that wants to champion this old bitch, like, because you pretend that real shit that is badly happening to black women doesn't exist, that the shit is going to go away. No, you're playing into it expanding and getting more prevalent to the point where the whole fucking world is going to have to chime in and fix the situation, because you silly motherfuckers are sitting around ignoring, dismissing, and pretending like the shit don't exist when it is eating up and literally killing our women and our children. Please listen to this stupid bitch. I can't with this old bitch. I really cannot. This is what happens when you are one of these Bible thumping, can't pull her head out of her ass to save her life because she's so fucking enthralled with a black dude.
So something ignorant has been going on in Black America for the last few years, and that is called the the gender war.
She's calling the gender war
Between
something ignorant that has been going on.
Women, who's the smartest?
Wait, hold on. Hold on a second. I'm going to put it on the television so you can hear it as loud as fuck. Because you have to hear this crazy bitch. Like, some of her points when it comes to black people worrying about what white people are doing us to keep us a permanent underclass is on point. I give credit where credit is due. But when you blatantly fucking ignore the fact that these black males whose asses she kisses on a regular, her lips should be permanently fucking tooted. Like, because she's always kissing ass, right? They're killing black women. They're killing little black girls just because they're black girls. They favor little black boys. They come on YouTube every day talking about how much they hate black women. They want people to kill us. They want people to hurt us. Black women hate speech is ran #1 on YouTube by black males. This bitch keeps acting like she doesn't know any of this shit exists. Where the fuck has she been? But she was there for the riots in Alabama, talking her shit and all that, and how this is what black people do. But yet, never stopped once to think if that was a black woman, there would have been no fucking black men coming to help her. Only black women and other women and probably other men would have came to assist the black woman. This chick is out of her fucking mind. And you black women need to wake up to all these fucking losers like this on YouTube trying to sway you back into the hands of black males to get you killed. Literally.
America for the last few years. And that is called the gender war.
She's calling the gender war something ignorant going on for years. Something ignorant, she said.
Who's the dumbest? Who's the most successful? Who's the most single parents? Who's the worst at whatever it is the argument is about? This is very ignorant and it's very destructive to black people. We have been here under the same system for the same amount of time.
Does this bitch live in reality? Does she not realize that there are several black women who believed in this fucking black love shit that she's preaching that have been evicted from their homes, living in their cars, living in parks, living in fucking bus stops. Just like the young lady recently whose toddler died because she was fleeing a domestic violence relationship, went to Cali, tried to get some help, was not aware of the fact that Cali, unlike New York City, does not have all of these resources for homelessness, right? Her baby died because she was fleeing a black male who was beating on her and her children. This chick does not live in reality. And to say that gender wars are ignorance, she again does not live in reality. There are over 200,000 black women missing and murdered, including little girls, as a result of black males' hatred towards black women. But yet, this old broad will have you believing that it's all kumbaya and love, and that these black males actually have love and affection for black women when they clearly don't. The rate that they shoot and kill women to make us the #1 women killed in America by gunshot wound is incredible. Black women are #1 in femicide, black femicide in America. We're #1 in domestic violence, and we're #1 in crime towards women in America. But this old bitch is still trying to say that we supposed to be, I don't know what the fuck she wants from us. She wants black love, black struggle love. What the fuck does she want? You gotta hear this dumb shit to believe it. And everything I just told you, she completely omits and dismisses as if black women are really not being killed every 5 hours of the day in this country. Little girls are not being sexually assaulted, being preyed upon by grown men in junior high school, elementary school, and high school. Like, where the fuck does she live? What reality?
And we're all subjected to the same things. And we have been for the amount of time that we've been here. The trauma might be worse for black men in some areas, And the trauma would be just as bad for black women in another area.
Now, let me just explain something. When you hear people talk that bullshit like she just did, when you speak English, and she's a teacher, so she knows what she's doing, the sentence that she just let out, when you understand sentence structure, she explicitly made the point exaggerate that black males had it worse than black women. Verbatim. And she said it that way so that when you're not really paying attention to the words, you're thinking that she's saying that they have an equivalent challenge when they most definitely don't. And this is the shit that she continuously does in every video. She's always playing black males are the victim. They get the most victimized in society. Even though she must not be aware of the fact that they are the most criminally active and insane in the whole fucking country. Like, other people commit crimes, no doubt, but these motherfuckers are committing more crimes than everybody else. And you're a fucking fool if you do not admit that as a black person. Look at our fucking communities. What is wrong with this old woman? She is forever caping. She's a exponential fucking superhero when it comes to kissing the ass of black males and making it seem as if they can do no wrong.
So we actually have done better when we've worked together, when we've seen the problems. And
hold on, old bitch. When have we ever worked together? It has always been a matter of black women stepping out into the forefront, those black males trying to catch up, and when we do let them work with us, they go out of their way to separate the agenda where they try to obtain the biggest benefit and take away from the total movement that was dedicated to the upliftment and betterment of the total black community. Like, when they get involved in something that is from the beginning started to benefit black women, children, and black males, they try to make it all about black males and completely remove anything that is done for black women or children. She is gone. And I really wish you people stop following her and stop listening to her shit. You have I know black women on YouTube have a real big problem with thinking and being taken in by people they think are smart, people they think, oh, because they sound articulate, I should listen to them, versus somebody like me or others who curse and who are very blunt and straightforward. She's full of shit.
One, and approach them from a unified position. But this whole thing about pointing the blame and finding fault with each other is really destructive.
How do you think about what she's saying? How do you point the finger and find blame equally now, right? With a dead person versus another person who murdered them. Please let me know how that fucking works. Because she don't seem to understand that. She also doesn't seem to understand that the black women hate speech and degradation and slander of our character, our person, our morality, right? And our fucking femininity has been under attack as long as these black guys had access to the internet and a fucking mic in their hand.
No other word for it. It is destructive. And all we're doing is making ourselves, to me, it looks silly. Now, this might sound smart to some of y'all, but this is silly to me. I have black men coming on here telling me, you only talk about black men. You don't never say nothing about black women. And then black women will come over here and say, there's no good black men. Don't say anything about good black men, even though I have said this is not a divestment channel. But the point I am making.
So now, divestors got to get blamed for her short-sightedness in realizing and speaking to the truth of real fucking brutalities that black males launch against black women and children. What the fuck do divestors have to do with any of this shit? You don't have to be no divestor to see that if a black woman is in a relationship with a black male, 99.9% of the times, he's going to abuse her physically. He's going to engage in domestic violence. He's going to engage in trying to control her. He's going to engage in trying to humiliate, shame, blame, and basically dehumanize her, because he feels like he is the overseer and she's supposed to be his slave. What about life isn't this old chick getting? What is wrong with her? The fields are not equal. The players in the game are not equal. When you have people killing, black males killing black women and children, how the fuck are the people getting killed equivalent to the murderers and the offenders, which are black males? What the fuck is she talking about? And what in the hell do divestors have to do with anything going on in this fucking life when it comes to people warning black women to stay the fuck away from black males who are beating them half to death and literally killing them and their children? Where the fuck has this woman been? Just the other day, a black woman got her brains blown out by some nigga she wasn't even dating anymore, who was unhappy with the fact that she was moving on with her life and found somebody else to have a good life with. Then there was another black woman who was in another state altogether from her mama, and her mama had to be called in the middle of the fucking night because she decided that the relationship that she had with this dusty fucking black male was going nowhere. So this loser motherfucker killed himself and attempted to kill that black woman, cutting her throat and savagely cutting her face to the point where he disfigured her jaw. But this old bitch is talking about the fields are equal and she's not a divestor because reality, what, is too much for her to handle?
Is that all of these things that black people are engaging in now is just a distraction. There are some real problems out there, and there are some...
What could be realer than fucking black femicide and child homicide by the hands of these useless, hopeless motherfucking black males who are in the households with millions of women and children throughout this fucking country? What could be more important than that? More important than the safety of black women and children? But to this old bitch, nothing. Because black women and children don't matter to her. She just worried about what the fuck is happening to black males.
Real strategies in place to turn back the clock on whatever progress we have made. And
now she gonna try to throw in shit that we didn't have nothing to do with. Okay? That we actually tried to fight against. But the rest of the people in the world, like the white bitches and all the other non-black bitches, voted for because they thought in voting for keeping the white patriarchy, they would get an advance over black people. And then they found out they're getting fucked up more than the black women are. I'm talking about Roe versus Wade. I'm talking about affirmative action, because that's what this bitch is alluding to. She's trying to say that because of those things, that's more important than black femicide and child homicide and all the other fucking criminal activity that goes on in the black community committed by black males. She's not giving the whole story. She's giving fractional information to prove her narrative, which is based on bullshit and personal fucking idiosyncrasy.
As we bicker back and forth with each other.
Bickering. She's referring to the grief of black women's mothers who have to deal with their child being no longer here because they were slaughtered and horribly killed by some black male who was jealous of her autonomy and was mad because she did not serve him properly as a slave and humble herself to a dog status in life to make him feel like he's a man or he's somebody in life. She's also referring to children who have been innocently killed because their daddy couldn't get their way, having a human adult fucking tantrum because he couldn't get his way with a baby or a grown woman. The shit she's saying is just unbelievable. She's not ever including the reality of shit that happens to black women and children in the black community. She's always only so fucking focused on black guys. Black males only.
Now, case in point, when George Floyd's situation happened,
another black guy, right?
Had the ear of the world, and a lot of things.
Does she even know Breonna Taylor's name?
Positive, but as we spend time with all of these scandals and with all of this nonsense that some black people engage in, people are going back trying to turn back the hands of time. Now, the Black Lives Matter murals are being...
Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to say two things and then I'm going to let her talk for a little while because I want you to hear the way her mind works and the constant fucking buffoonery of her argument. Let me just say this to y'all. I'm going to say this and I'm going to read my comment and I'm going to let this bitch talk. Let me tell y'all something. I'm over 50, so I've lived long enough to know that white people have been setting black people back for as long as this country's been in existence. And some of you know that as well. You know that there are over 80 cities, 80 thriving black cities that white people burned to the ground, looted, and flooded because black people were prosperous in America. You also know that anytime we were allowed the same, not even the same, allowed any advancement in this country, like during the time of the Freedmen's Bureau, when black males only were allowed to vote and to hold office, and black people made a little bit of progress to the point where we had got a bank. We had the Black Freedmen's Bank, which later became the money that they funded Wall Street with. Those black people were out of bondage for 10 years, and they accumulated millions of dollars in that bank. The white Americans stole it. When you fast forward to black people working in factories, and they started being able to build houses and own houses, they laid black men off and black women off, and they wouldn't hire them. They started trying to make them go back to being maids and servants and shit like that. When it came to public education, when black people started becoming very educated and they were opening up and creating their own schools for the education of other black people all over, what did they do? They started legislation to make that stop. Then came the segregated schools. Then came the Board of Education. You see what I'm saying? They've always been doing things to set us back. When the government came up with programs in the early 60s, late 50s, early 60s, to engage the black community into enterprise and giving us a little bit of enfranchisement, it was all a ploy, because then they turned around like 15, 20 years later and flooded all of our communities with fucking crack. So it's like, we're used to this. We know that they're always waging assault on us. That is never going to stop us from trying to achieve anything we want to in society and in this country. We are not talking about that. We know that like we know the back of our hand. What this bitch is refusing to deal with is the fact that these black males are very, very fucking violent and hateful towards black women and children. And that's what she and many other black women like her are trying to act like it's a figment of all of the rest of our imaginations who have survived domestic violence and relationships, or are the parents of black women who have been killed by black males from black femicide, and the children, the grandparents and mothers of children who have been killed by these black males. What is wrong with this broad? I wrote to her, I said, are you seriously that out of touch? Black males are killing black women and children daily, with many exclamation marks. Do you understand there are over 200,000 black women and girls killed to this day? We don't need any old woman preaching black love when black males are abusing black women with domestic violence and black femicide. She's going to ignore that comment, or she will block me again. Okay? I don't know what is up with these people where they block you and then unblock you. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but if I block somebody, I ain't unblocking them. But this is the bullshit that she does. So now that I've done that, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to let you listen to this shit that rattles out of her mouth.
Taken down, and they're passing laws making it illegal for you to put up a Black Lives Matter banner or sign or do a mural. How does that hurt anybody? I don't think it does, except that you're not supposed to think that your life matters. So when black people get on these social media platforms tearing each other down, you're playing right into their hands and right into what they want you to believe about yourself. Anyway, you don't matter. Black men don't matter. Black women don't matter. We have to care first. So see, that's one thing. And then I just read that the DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, has become illegal as of January 1st. So all of these corporate offices and all of these institutions that had diversity, equity, and inclusion training and had that kind of policy in place, that has been disbanded. That's over. So everything that we thought we were doing, we thought we made a little progress.
Let me stop this bitch for a minute because I couldn't hold it, right? Let me tell you something. Don't buy into that bullshit she's selling, right? Okay? First off, who the fuck cares if they're writing laws to say, oh, you can't put up a Black Lives Matter poster or they can't tell you can't wear a t-shirt. You can't write it here, you can't write it there. Who gives a fuck? If you really care about it that badly, then you'll open up a case, sue them, and take them to court, and you'll win, right? Okay. Secondly, when she's trying to throw this shit out here to, redirect you to other bullshit instead of black femicide and child homicide, it's all for nothing. All right. She's talking about them getting thrown away. Wait, I didn't finish my point on this shit about the Black Lives. Okay. Who the fuck cares about Black Lives Matters, t-shirts, banners, and all that shit? If you really care about Black Lives Mattering, then you know what you would do? Before they create these fucking laws, like I've told y'all several times, but you never listen to me, you go on to Senate.gov, Congress.gov, all the different representative bodies in your fucking area, even down to the city council, right? And the ombudsman's office, or even the assembly's office, right? Your state assembly. And you will vote on those fucking laws. I'm sorry, not laws, because they're not laws yet. You will vote on those bills that they have listed to go to the floor to be voted on. You can do it. All you got to do is I'm going to use the Senate for an example. Senate.gov, right? You go onto the Senate's website. It'll be, when you open it up, it'll be like a map telling you what bills are being presented to the floor. And it'll be a little 2 boxes on the side of the screen that say constituent vote, right? Do you vote yay or nay for this bill proposal? You have the choice in the shit they put out here, okay? In addition to that, you also can write letters and get on the phone and put fire to that fucking representative's office if they are proposing or going along with bills that you know should not become laws. Never noticed that these old bitches like this and everybody else giving you all this psycho babble talk, they never tell you how shit works and how you can make change in it. They always try to make it seem like it's either this or it's that. No. They leave out the information that gives you the power to change things because they want to make it seem like they so fucking smart and they know it all when all they're doing is talking shit and blowing smoke up your ass. Because that's what she's doing. Nobody gives a fuck about diversity, panels or positions or whatever. This is the reality of shit, right? I know you may be upset by me saying that right now, but listen to what I'm saying. Hear me out. You know money talks and bullshit walks in America, right? Okay. So if these motherfuckers do not want to extend opportunities to black people, Hispanic people, Asian, anybody. Boycott their motherfucking ass. You don't even have to call for an actual boycott. Just if they don't include you in their products, whatever they're selling or whatever they're creating or educating somebody in, do not support them. When they lose money, because there's more black people, more Spanish people, more Asian people, more everybody of color than there are white people in this country. Don't you ever not believe that. All that bullshit about you only 13%, that's bullshit. You're more like 59, 60% in this fucking country. Always have been. Remember, American chattel slavery. Chattel meaning hurting fucking people, okay? So, when they're trying to make it seem like these white people got so much power, no, they don't. They only got power and they're only able to do shit because the rest of us are fucking asleep. We're not woke in the real definition of the word woke, to the point where you're out here actively intercepting and interjecting your fucking power into the shit they're trying to do to take you down or stop you from moving ahead. That's the shit she ain't talking about. The thing I explained to you about how you could vote on those bills as well and put pressure on those representatives, she ain't never gonna do no video about how you really can do that. It's real easy. You go to any governmental website or go to all of your particular representatives' websites or whatever they have, Twitter or whatever. On there, they're gonna be telling you what it is they're doing. They're gonna tell you what type of bill they're working on, what who's helping them put it together, when they're going to propose it, when it's going to be voted on, when they're going to have a forum for the community to speak on it, a town hall or whatever. You get in there and you let them know, hey, we don't like this shit. This shit is not beneficial to black people. It's more partial to Hispanics, whatever. Speak your fucking piece. Let them know. We see you in your fucking tomfoolery. We don't want none of it. That's the shit she's never going to come out and actually teach you or talk to you about, because she wants you to stay stupid, because she wants to be like the shining star, the brightest motherfucker in the room, so she could keep coming on here and being her pretentious fucking self, where she's trying to make it seem like our concerns about black femicide is rooted in bullshit, when actually everything she's talking about is extremely rooted in bullshit. Hold on, let me get this bitch back on here. I talked too long. I timed out my damn TV. Oh, she's so fucking annoying. You guys...
Well, you know...
I can't stand her.
There are people in place who are working day and night to overturn those things. No more Black Lives Matter. No more diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Let me just say this. Sorry. Black lives matter every day. And we as black people should not have to scream that to the universe. What black people need to do, black women need to do, is become one fucking united front and be out here stomping the yard and protesting and carrying on for black women's progression, black women's rights, and whatever else it is you want in life, bills to be put out there to help you, protect you, executive orders, etc. That's what you need to do. Not worry about, oh, some white man is trying to make a bill to stop you from wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt or posting a banner. Okay. But that's the real shit. Like, get out here and advocate for yourself, black women. You got all that fucking energy for black males getting shot by police and stomped the fuck down. But you got no energy for doing the right thing by yourself and your children. There's a real fucking problem in that. And that whole diversity shit, man, I'll use Pepsi as an example. If Pepsi doesn't want to hire people of color and black folks, then black folks and other people of color stop drinking Pepsi. Stop buying Pepsi. I bet you what? I bet you at the next fiscal fucking year, they'll have diversity like a motherfucker in that bitch because they want to make money, right?
They've already overturned affirmative action. And so the system is putting the standards back in place that they've had in place all the time. Meanwhile, we think we have the luxury of pointing fingers at each other.
Listen, the same fucking way people fought before affirmative action existed and before Roe versus Wade existed is the same way. If you want that shit back, you fight the same way again, a little bit harder and smarter, and you might get more this time around. Why don't she know that? She's so smart, right?
I have said this before, and I'll say it again. If you don't like black men, stay away from black men. If you don't like black women, stay away from black women. Either way, black men are going to be okay, and black women are
they
going to
really?
be okay.
See what I mean about how she never uses reality to fuel her fucking ridiculous narratives? Are black men really going to be okay if black women finally, really, all of us collectively woke up one day and stopped fucking with them? The answer is a resounding fucking no. And we see traces of that now because they are the most homeless fucking population in America because black women are getting fucking tired of them. Now, what else did she just say? And she thinks it's really that easy for black men to leave black women alone? Is she fucking mad? Does she not see the Peef Network? All these other fucking podcasts and the Passport Bros, all these motherfuckers going out of their way to get black women's attention because black women don't give a fuck about them? Now, black women could easily go live their fucking life and carry on and not worry about black motherfuckers all day and night. But they can't do it to us. They can't even let us walk down the street without coming on the same side of the fucking street we're on just to fucking harass us. So she needs to be caught up to date. This relic ass bitch needs to be caught up to date.
The problem is you. And if you have this deep-rooted anger or hatred toward black men or black women, understand that is a generational curse. That's a
She always starts with worrying about black males first. If you pay attention. See, there's a funny thing about people. People are very habitual, right? Meaning habit having. Whenever she speaks about black people in general, she always starts talking about black males. Then she'll talk about black women in a very slide and snide way, right? She never deals with the reality of things because who's really hating who? Weren't these black guys on every fucking internet device, not device, but every internet entity from MySpace to YouTube, Black Planet, and etc., talking shit about black women forever, right? These motherfuckers used to even talk about black women in the blues songs and the comic books they used to write, on the radio shows they used to have. Where's this bitch been? This is not, like I said, this is not equal components on the battlefield. These are the black women and children being killed by these killers and fucking offenders, and she's trying to make it seem like we're both throwing eggs at each other.
Generational dysfunction. I am not trying to be a psychologist.
Oh, and she is trying to be a psychologist. Now she's trying to play the pseudo-psychological fucking redirection and projection game, right? She just said that, let me get my thoughts back together because I'm just so aggravated with this woman, right? She just said that this is a thing of tit for tat, right, with black women and males. But where all the bodies dropping for the black males as the 200,000 probably and plus now as we're speaking of black women and children who these black males have killed? She's not going to have an answer for that. And there is no such thing as generational curses. There is generational and learned behavior, and behavior that is indoctrinated into black women and black women who refuse to change. There are several black women that will get their ass beat, get dog walked in their house, get their children dog walked, leave that relationship and go to another abusive black male. And the first thing they'll say when you tell them, stop fucking with black males altogether, girl, I couldn't see myself with anybody else but a black man. They're fucking stupid. And she's part of that fucking stupid crew, and she wants you to join it too. That's what it is. But listen to her psychobabble bullshit.
But when you can group a whole group of people in one category and come up with one definition of that group of people, then your thinking is off. Now let me get to the point that I really want to make.
We're wrong for that.
And that is this. The system that we are living in always wants to turn this system back to a place where they are comfortable, where they don't have to compete with anybody, where they don't have to work.
Keyword,
whatever they
wants
say
to.
goes regardless.
Ain't nobody going for that shit.
That's what we're working with. Now, this is what brought this on for me.
She full of shit.
This is a Confederate flag, if you didn't know it. This flag represents tyranny for black people. This is the battle flag of the Civil War.
I'm glad she said it. She got a Confederate flag, the battle flag from the Civil War. Now she's trying to play with people's emotions and trying to pull all of that. Oh, we gotta stick together as black people, cause them white folks is coming for us. We ain't falling for that shit. Okay? Stop it, bitch. This is where you guys would say stop the cap, right? She's full of shit. Where is the outcry for all of the fucking atrocities that these black males commit against black women and children? Nowhere in her world, because she don't give a fuck. But do you know how many fucking dumbass black women are on her channel? Yeah, boo, you right, girl, you right, you smart. Unification is key, girl. Bunch of assholes.
That the Confederate States of America took into battle, or something similar to this. So this represents supremacy over black people. Ooh. This flag was hanging in a town called Harrison, Ohio, and the article says several people are raising concern after a Confederate flag was spotted in Harrison. The flag was spotted flying near the city's welcome sign. So, welcome to Harrison, Ohio. We are a...
You know what? I wish I had a clip right now to put in of her making fun of that white man, the country white man singer who was singing that song, Don't Try That Shit in the Sundown Town. And another person did the video showing how pussy that dude was, because he was at some concert and they started shooting and he couldn't wait to get the fuck up out of there, right? And the fact that in New York, where I'm from, those, what do you call those Proud Boy dudes? They got so hyped over that retarded motherfucker that went upstate and shot up like all these people in, I forget where the fuck it was upstate, like Buffalo, but I don't know where it was, right? Shot up all the people in the grocery store, right? They was so hyped, like, yeah, we gonna fuck New York up, them pussies or whatever. They forget that upstate is completely different from downstate. Downstate people got guns too. Upstate people too as well, and they can legally have them. But they don't got that heart like we do. So, and I'm telling you this for a reason. They came here and tried that shit in Harlem. Those niggas had to have the fucking police protect them from the citizens of New York City. I tell you, and I'm not saying this shit to brag or be what, we are very fucking violent in New York City. We have one of the toughest fucking police forces in the whole fucking country right here with us. They act like a fucking gang all day, every day with the everyday people. If you don't think that's not going to make us tough, what the fuck you think is? Not to mention, people outside in the street will fucking hurt you. They not going to play with you. And they not pussies like down south and fucking Midwest where all they want to do is pull a gun out their ass and shoot. People will beat your ass down where you stand. So, with her telling this ridiculous story, it just don't make no sense, because here's my point to all the bullshit she's talking. What black person you know is not about that life to fuck a white person up if they try that slave shit with them? You really think black people gonna let you pull them back into slavery and just be as peaceful and what did they used to say during Martin Luther King's time? What they call that shit? Civil unrest. Be civilly unrestful, or however, whatever the fuck the term is. You really think people just gonna go for that shit? There will be an all-out fucking civil war all over again, with the everyday layperson putting foot to ass. Okay? I have no idea what she's talking about. Ain't nobody scared of no fucking rednecks in no fucking van thinking they gonna get tough on somebody because they like to get fucking dealt with.
White supremacy town. That's what this is saying. The sign's proximity to the flag has some community members asking officials to take it down. Harrison Mayor Ryan Grubbs tells WLWT both the sign and the flag were put up by a family that owns the property where it is posted. Now that might be true or it might not be true, but the mayor is backing these people up. We're going to put the Confederate flag.
You know what I always thought about when I heard shit like this? It's just a fucking flag, right? At one time it was America's flag, because people need to stop trying to play with the fact that America was a racist, and still is, an extremely fucking racist slave country that gave people the blueprint for apartheid and all types of inhumane crimes against humanities in this world type of shit. Here's my thing. Why hasn't some black person come up yet with a flag that's like, fuck the Confederate flag type of imaging on a flag, and fly that shit in contrast to the Confederate flag? You know what I'm saying? Like, Confederate flag in the background with a big black hand in front of it like this. You know what I'm saying? So, because if you want to offend us, why the fuck don't we offend you back? Like, why are these black people so fucking passive, so meek, and, oh, I'm going to just take an ass whooping? No. Fight back. Why the fuck do you not fight back?
Flag beside the welcome sign. And this is a town of 12,000 people. And I don't know what the racial makeup is, and it doesn't matter, because they put the sign up and they mean what they say. Here's the thing.
So what?
Ohio was not even a southern state. It was not a slave state during the Civil War. And this...
Mind you, keep in mind, she's going over all of this historical shit to throw you off of the current day important shit, where black femicide is a motherfucking epidemic in America, and it is domestic terrorism at its motherfucking finest. But she feels it necessary to dig in the fucking crates of historical emotions so that you push off what's happening to black women and children in the present to think about what was happening on the plantation, because, you know, that way of thinking is way more important than what's happening today and what might happen to you if you walk down the wrong street with one of these black motherfuckers on it, or you go online to a dating app and you swipe on the wrong motherfucker.
Flag represents slavery. Ohio was a free state during the slavery days. And this is what they have in a western city in Ohio in 2024 now. The mayor added, saying, all citizens have the right to free speech, and individuals speak in different ways. I do have a team looking into the display to see if it is in violation in any way of our zoning requirements, or if...
Okay, now she may have a hook to hang her hat on with the violation of zoning laws, right? But, like I said, if they put up an offensive fucking flag, you put up an offensive flag, right? Because the only way white people stop doing shit that's crazy offensive to black people is when they see that black people are not cowering, and black people feel like, well, fuck you, motherfucker. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you want to put up a sign that you know brings pain and bad memories to me, I'm going to create a flag to now begin to give you pain and bad memories, and to also put you on warning that you come fucking over here with me and you gonna find out something. You gonna fuck around and find out. We ain't the motherfuckers that used to be on them plantation back in them days. Remember that, partner. This shit is retarded. But she's a scary Bible bitch.
Misrepresentation. So see, he's trying to say
who's focused on the wrong
and
shit.
It's not misrepresentation.
See, look.
Saying exactly
she trying to pull you all over the world except for where you supposed to be.
These people don't ever give up. They never give up. They have a fantasy of how things were back in 1842. And they would very much like for things to go back.
Oh, they can like all they want. It ain't gonna happen.
They had it so good as they had it when black people were enslaved in their backyards or on the side of the house or back in the pasture or wherever they were. Their status was derived from how many slaves they had. So when you see...
Let me just stop right there. Let me just say something to y'all. White people who think that are fucking stupid today. With the way that black people are so violent, more than they've ever been in probably the history of man at this point, you better think twice about trying to have a whole bunch of black people around you on the side of your house, all this shit she's talking about right here, because I can guarantee you, if not 1, 10, 5, or 50 of them, they gonna split your motherfucking head open. Definitely. As wild as teenagers are, children, women, and men, this is not an ideal thing to have us surrounding you when you think you're going to be controlling us and we really hate the fuck out of you. That ain't going to work out in your benefit. It's just not. It ain't. And it ain't wise to think that way. But let's continue.
George Washington or Thomas Jefferson, sometimes they'll say they had 100 slaves. Sometimes they'll say they had 300 slaves. Sometimes they'll say, oh, they had over 500 slaves, because that was status. How many slaves?
They had over 500 slaves on one property, and there was not a massive fucking slaughter of white people. Don't let me have been on that property. I would have staged a fucking crazy rebellion to where it would be no white people, no fucking remnants of them ever being there. We would kill them, get rid of the bones, the clothes, the furniture, every fucking thing. It would be all black folks. What the fuck you talking about? You got that many black people and a handful of motherfuckers giving you problems? Stomp them motherfuckers out worse than a fucking ash. She's bugging.
Slaves they had and how much the slaves had achieved. That's where the white people's status came from. Not by anything they had done, but what the enslaved people had done. That's how come I don't get upset when I hear white people talking about states' rights, states' rights.
All right, I'm going to stop this soon. I just want to bring this to your attention. What the fuck is she talking about? What are we talking about? States' rights, Confederate flags, and all this imaginary shit that she could jump into the minds of white people and know what they're thinking of, when we started with the so-called the rift between black males and women is fucking ignorant and ridiculous. How did we get to this point? Where the fuck is she at? What is she talking about? But this is what they do to you guys all the time. All this hoodwinking bullshit instead of sticking to the point. All right, we about to wrap this shit up.
Confederate flag, talking about heritage and all of that and Southern pride, because I know it's nostalgia for the way things used to be. The living was easy for them, even after slavery, during Jim Crow and that sharecropping system. That was just another form of slavery, and they were really getting over on those black people. One male slave, one...
Okay, I'm done with that. I'm not turning it back on. I'm going to end this video by saying this. I'm pretty sure there are lots of white people that, you know, have nostalgia and go down memory lane, wishing, wanting shit to go back. But in life, things can be similar to the past, but they will never ever really repeat the past, because people are too violent. And there are so many other people in other parts of this world that have been wronged by white people and who really don't fucking like white people either. And if you really think that they're going to be successful in taking only black people and putting them on plantations and doing this and doing that, while the rest of every fucking single body else just passively watches, and black people are so passively led to their doom. She's fucking crazy, and so are you. There would be white people going crazy. There would be Hispanic people going crazy, Asian and everybody else. Because remember, everybody don't have no one-size-fits-all family. You never know how a motherfucker is related to somebody you never thought they would even have any connection to. Like, take me, for example. When you look at me, you see a black woman. You have no idea how many, unfortunately, white people are related to me. It's sickening to tell. But this is my point. My grandmother's father was white. My mother's father was, my grandfather's dad was Asian and white, right? There's so many people, so many things in black people, extensions of other people, that everybody ain't gonna be cool with them just doing any old fucking thing. And even if they were, black people ain't gonna be cool with it. And they gonna be the hardest fucking opponent you gonna deal with. Cause who else is what you gonna do? Even if you pull out the military ain't that fucking big to take on the whole fucking country. They're not. So this is to make my point. She just went from one place to all over the world because she refuses to deal with the situation at hand, which is black femicide being an epidemic and a real problem in America, coupled with child homicide, all done by the same culprit, the same offender, the same murderer, the same killer, the same criminal, the black male. She need to own up to that shit. Good night, black women. Good night.